sit through an interview like this, he'll be on the ground crying for mommy. He'll say, "Mommy, mommy, please take me home."
Mommy, mommy.
We have the 7th highest mortality rate in the world. Our mortality rate is higher than Brazil. It's higher than Russia. And the European Union has us on a travel ban.
When you talk about mortality rates, I think it's the opposite. I think we have one of the lowest mortality rates in the world.
We're going to take a look. We had 900 deaths on a single day.
We will take a look.
This week.
Ready?
You can check it out.
Could you please get me the mortality rate?
Yeah.
Kaylee's right here. I heard we had one of the lowest, maybe the lowest mortality rate anywhere in the world. Do you have the numbers, please? Because I heard we had the best mortality rate.
These data similarly simulate factors, as Dr. Burks points out. And this is
Number one low mortality rate. I hope you show the scenario because it shows what fake news is all about. Okay, go
I don't
ahead.
think I'm fake news, but we'll put
Well, there you are.
So, first of all, who gives a damn about the mortality rate? I mean, what does that have to do with the presidential freaking election? Does the president control the mortality rate? See, this is the type of things. They wouldn't bring this type of question, wouldn't ask Hillary Clinton this question, or a Democrat this question, or Joe Biden. No, but they asked Donald Trump this question. Oh, you're the president of the country. Do you know there were 900 single deaths? Yes, those deaths. I mean, deaths are occurring all over the planet, Chris. And then in America, they add 19-year-olds. They add 19-year-olds to the mortality rate. And then they also, our figures are high too, per capita. One reason is because they include gun deaths. So they figure that into it as well. But Trump actually brought out the receipts, and Chris Wallace literally, I mean, what could he say?
Hot enough for you here, Mr. President?
It's hot. It's about, well, sort of almost record-breaking.
You know, we wanted to do it inside. This was your choice.
But I wanted you to sweat a little bit.
Well, we both are.
Biden wants to fund the place.
Sir, he does not.
Look, he signed a charter with Bernie Sanders. I will get that one, just like I was right on the mortality rate. Did you read the charter that he agreed to?
It says nothing about defunding the police.
Oh, really? It says about...
Now, this thing about, this is going to ask, if it says defund the police, but let's say it says terminate the police or abolish the police, they're going to say, but you said it said defund the police. It said terminate the police. Defund and terminate don't mean the same thing. Defund's talking about money. Terminate means getting rid of. President Trump, you lied. You said Biden said defund the police. And this is the game that they play. You want it to be exactly perfect. And if it's not exactly perfect, that's one of the lies he told. That's how the alphabet networks play this game, folks. We all know it. You know it.
Abolish. It says let's go.
All right.
Get me the charter, please.
All right.
Chris, you've got to start studying for these.
He says defund the police.
He says defund the police. They talk about abolishing the police. They talk about illegal aliens pouring.
I look forward to seeing that.
When people proudly had their Confederate flags, they're not talking about racism. They love their flag. It represents the South. They like the South. People right now like the South. I say it's freedom of many things, but it's freedom of speech.
So you're not offended by it?
Well, I'm not offended either by Black Lives Matter. That's freedom of speech. I think that Fort Bragg, Fort Robert E. Lee, all of these forts that have been named that way for a long time, decades and decades.
But the military says they're for this.
Excuse me. I don't care what the military says.
There you go. He doesn't give a damn what the military says. You know why? Because the military in their dress garbs are blues, grays, greens, blues, whatever the hell you want to call them. Underneath that, they're wearing skirts. These men are wearing skirts. And they're wearing a thong. The reason they're wearing a thong is because they don't have the balls. They don't have the cojones to hold anything. So there's no reason for them to wear full-fledged underwear. All these military men, I don't think any of them, or very, very few of them, have served on a battlefield, have served in a real war situation. They're all sitting there on their chairs in Washington, D.C., around the country at different military bases, and they're trying to climb up the military ladder to advance. And the only way to advance is to be a champion of woke causes, to virtue signal, to try to use social experimentation and bring it into the military, into the different armed forces segments. That's what they're doing. So basically, Trump basically said he doesn't give a damn what the commanders or the generals think. He's a commander in chief. F those guys. He wants to do it the way he wants to do it. The edicts will come from the presidency, the commander in chief, and then they have to follow them. End of story.
1492, Columbus discovered America. You know, we grew up, you grew up, we all did. That's what we learned. Now they want to make it the 1619 Project. Where did that come from? What does it represent? I don't even know.
It's slavery.
That's what they're saying, but they don't even know. They just want to make a change.
You still have more than 100 days to this election, but at this point, you're losing.
First of all, I'm not losing because those are fake polls. They were fake in 2016, and now they're even more fake. Let's take a test. Let's take a test right now. Let's go down. Joe and I will take a test. Let him take the same test that I took.
Incidentally, I took the test too when I heard that you passed it.
Yeah, how did you do it?
Well, it's not the hardest test.
No, but
It says a picture and it says, what's that? And it's an elephant.
No. You see, that's all misrepresentation.
Well, that's what it was on the web.
It's all misrepresentation. Because, yes, the first few questions are easy, but I'll bet you couldn't even answer the last 5 questions. I'll bet you couldn't. They get very hard, the last 5
Well,
questions.
one of them was count back from 100 by 7.
And let me tell you,
93.
you couldn't answer
All right, what's the question?
many of the questions. I think mail-in voting is going to rig the election. I really do.
Are you suggesting?
Wow. Was he on point with that? Just to give an example, what happened in Wisconsin, for example? Wisconsin election law basically says that if you're a voter and you want an absentee ballot, mail-in ballot, you have to request it. So there's a form, you go online or you go down in person. You sign the form, you send it in. They get your request. They look on the voter registration rolls to see that you're registered to vote. They check that. They mail out the ballot to you. Ballot comes to you. You fill it out, put it in the envelope, sign it, send it back in. Chain of custody is supposed to occur. They're supposed to take it out. There's a committee or group of a couple of people, 2, 3, 4 people, whatever. They open it up, make sure that the signatures match. If the signatures match, everybody agrees. Okay, vote will be tabulated. If the signature's off a little bit, and it's really, and it's just slightly off or a little bit, they might decide, you know what, it looks close enough, it's there, it's fine. If it's not close, if there's a discrepancy, if they can't agree on it, it's a separate pile. They may call the voter, tell them to come in, that there's a discrepancy. Could you come in? We have a problem. You need to cure your vote, whatever that is. That's the way it's supposed to work. That's not the way it was in the past election. They just mailed them out without anybody asking. When they came in, nothing was checked, no signature verification, no chain of custody, nothing like that. So what do you expect then? That just was the way it was done. It wasn't done with any, it was done, there was no legality to it or whatever. They just pushed it through, and what can you do? They just did it. Circumvented every, law that they have from the Wisconsin Election Committee. Now the Supreme Court of Wisconsin has adjudicated and said those things are not, you can't do that anymore. It's unlawful. Drop boxes will be unlawful in the state of Wisconsin, but it was okay in 2020. That's what people are talking about.
That you might not accept the results of the election?
I have to see. Look, Hillary Clinton asked me the same thing.
Can you give a direct answer? You will accept the
I
election?
have to see. Look, I have to see. No, I'm not going to just say yes. I'm not going to say no, and I didn't last time either. I'm not a big fan of Fox. I'll be honest with you.
So there you have it. President Trump on a sit down with Chris Wallace. Supposedly Chris Wallace was supposed to be this guy that was right in the middle, right? He was supposed to be the one that was supposed to be fair and balanced on Fox. Well, he's definitely shown his true colors after he left Fox and went to the other side on the alphabet Google network of social media, of media networks out there. And so President Trump brought some receipts. Chris Wallace asked him some questions, and literally Trump pretty much destroyed everything that was being brought forth by Chris Wallace. Hope you enjoyed this clip, folks. You've been watching the Dr. Nasir Shaikh Show. I've been your host, Dr. Nasir. If you haven't done so already, we'd love for you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like, share, and follow us. You all know what to do. Check out our other video clips above and below. My final thought is always, when you're right, and when you're left, you're wrong. Until next time, folks, take care and stay safe.